Freaks and geeks of horror.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Welcome back to the Freaks and Geeks of Horror podcast. We've been gone a while. Didn't mean to go on a holiday hiatus, but things got busy. Unexpected things happened, but here we are. We're back. We're here with Richie and Nick and Paolo and myself, Hillary. And today we are going to talk about Richie's pick, The Lost Boys, which we all love and we've all seen a million times and we can't wait to talk about. So Richie, why'd you pick it?
So it's definitely one of my favorite movies of all time. Definitely my favorite, I would say my favorite vampire movie of all time. You know, it's definitely in the top 2, I would say. You know, there's definitely some good hitters, but for number 1, I feel that this could definitely take the spot for number 1. And yeah, a little bit about the Lost Boys movie. Lost Boys movies was filmed in 1987, or it was, came out in 1987. The movie follows 2 teenager brothers. One of them is named Michael, his younger brother Sam, who moved with a divorced mom, Lucy, to a town called Santa Clara, California, which is a fictional city as well. You know, obviously it's Santa Cruz,
right?
But Santa Clara is what they decided to call it, and it's the murder capital of the world. This town is basically a haven for vampires, and that's basically what the movie is. Both of the brothers kind of have 2 different, kind of path in this movie. One of them meets the Frog brothers, the younger brother Sam, and those 2 are basically like comic book geeks that are like vampire hunters, totally. And it's like those become his homies, his friends or whatever. And then you have Michael, which falls in love with Star, right?
Yeah.
Star,
right.
The stunning Star, you know what I'm saying? Right?
The mysterious Star.
Yeah. And she basically like leads him to like basically not intentionally but befriend the Lost Boys, and which is basically like almost like a motorcycle kind of bad boy type of aura, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And they're vampires, and those are basically like the villains of the movie, the heels of the movie. And yeah, that's basically what it's about, you know what I'm saying? And then of course it's basically like a Goonies slash like Lost Boys, like from Peter Pan kind of movie. It's totally. An adventure movie, there's a lot of like fun stuff, and it's like a kind of like horror comedy type of style movie, which is some of my favorite, of course, like kind of movies I like goofy 80s, type of movie. And this kind of hits everything. It's a horror movie. It's goofy. It's funny. It's fun. It's exciting. There's, intimate scenes and, like horror scenes and, some cool kills. So I'm definitely very, very excited to talk about this one.
No, good call on the Goonies thing, because it's like it's almost like a more adult kind of Goonies, because it definitely like follows these kids around and what they're doing, but at the same time there's a lot of like weird sexual tension, sexual like things that are going on too. It's trying to be a little
sexy.
Sure. Yeah. Which, hey, I'm here for it. It's cool. And you also spoke on the Peter Pan thing. Total kind of little tribute to like Peter Pan. For sure. I think I even read somewhere that the writer was like kind of influenced by Interview with the Vampire, the whole story about, a vampire that's kind of on the younger side that is like, in reality much, much older. They're just trapped in these younger boy bodies, and, and the whole Peter Pan thing and just wanting to be a kid forever. It's like, it's all right there, and it's just like add vampires, and it makes a cool cult classic, frankly. Because at the time, I don't even think it did top 10 box office, but that's over time, it's like, everybody loves the Lost Boys. You don't speak to even Bowie
loves it.
Loves it.
Bowie's shouting it out.
10 out of 10.
I feel like Santa Carla's got a Neverland type of vibe to it too.
For sure.
The boardwalk.
Like we are just here to have fun and be like young at heart. Mm-hmm. And it is just it seems like a really cool place to live, and I feel like if you're not from California, maybe back then it's what you imagined California, like maybe the whole state was like Santa Carla to maybe a person who didn't live here.
Just a bunch of punks
getting
kicked off a carousel,
even the
up
way
all night.
The way the movie starts is amazing, right? Like it's like they're like showing up to Santa Clara, and it's like you see kind of like the scenery, right? Like just kind of like the the city, you know, and it's like all these like kind of like punk, kind of like not necessarily homeless, but just kind of like hippie-ish kind of kids and stuff like that. And they're just like, you know, everybody's like smoking, drinking, hanging out. And it's like, you know, different type of backgrounds too. You have like the punkers, you have kind of like the gangsters, you have like, you know, it's super just kind of like, it makes you want to be there, you know, it comes out with the what is it?
People Are Strange.
People Are Strange.
Yeah.
Song,
it's a perfect fit.
It's
Echo and the Bunnyman cover. It was cool.
Echo and
really
the
good.
Bunnyman covered it, and it's like, it's just perfect. Like, I think that first scene makes the whole movie just like, I would need to watch the rest of this movie. You know? So
it really sucks.
If you guys never watched it, man, it's definitely like a movie to watch, and most people should have watched this. I'm telling you, like, I don't know many people that have not watched it. Even if they're not into horror movie, they've watched this movie, which is very cool.
What you were saying earlier about like, you know, there's like Southern California and like all the cool stuff in it. This is the movie, because I saw it like, I don't know, it's 5 or 6, like every other horror movie, right? But like this was the movie that, because I'm not from here, I grew up in Chicago. So before I moved to Southern California, I saw this as a kid, and I'm like, what's this magical land with vampires? It was California, and I'd move here later. But I'm like, oh man, it's cool. It seems like it could be realistic, because it's not like Dracula, some castle on a land far away. It's the beach. And they show up and it says murder capital of the world in the back of the billboard. It's fucked up. Yeah. But anyways, no, it's cool as hell, man. The whole California vibe is what turned me on to this state, and now I'm here, thank God.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
You're like, please let it be like Santa Carla everywhere. I mean, the parts of San Diego where we are at right now are kind of Santa Carla-ish.
Belmont Park, kind of.
Like a little bit bohemian, and like amusement park on
Ocean
the beach.
Yeah.
And like, okay, murder capital of the world. That does have a basis in reality.
For sure.
So before the movie was made back in the 70s, there was like 28 murders or something. Sorry, we're going to get dark.
Yeah.
There was like 3 serial killers that like combined killed about 28 people. One of them was Ed Kemper. And so it was pretty major, and so it actually was kind of a dangerous place to be. Santa Cruz.
That is in like the early 70s.
Yeah. And you know, they didn't want to call it Santa Cruz because of that reason. They wanted to call it Santa Cruz themselves, like the producers and how they made it, but the city didn't want to call it Santa Cruz.
Fuck up tourism.
Yeah, because it would have messed up their tourism because of all the murders and stuff like that. So when they said like murder capital of the world, they're like, we can't put that and like call it Santa Cruz. You know what I'm saying? It's going to kill our tourism. People are not going to want to come here.
Interesting.
Because it was realistic. It was something that was actually to happen in that city.
Based in reality. I didn't know that. That's cool, though.
Yeah. I also like how they made it look like the population was mostly young people. Like everybody is either like a teenager or in their 20s in Santa Carla for some reason.
Yeah. Definitely a young hangout.
It just looks like the best place ever. I don't know. And nightlife.
That's what I thought California, I forgot this part. That's what I thought California was.
Just young people.
I'm going to show up, 7 years from me seeing the movie and be like, man, I'm in heaven. It's nothing but young people. I'm a teenager now. It's cool. Nothing like that.
Yeah, that's true.
Still pretty cool.
Comic book store. Yeah, no, they do such a good job in the first like few minutes of the movie, just like establishing the setting. It's really a testament to like how much they can get you into the movie and kind of buy in immediately. I think it's pretty iconic. The fact that, they're showing them driving in the van, they're looking for movie stations, and in the whole time it's like they're driving along this beautiful coastline. It's great job just the first few minutes.
Yeah. And honestly, like even like when, I feel most of the scenes in the movie is great. Even when they're like in the beginning and they're like in the carousel, and there's this other like group of like kind of like punkish kind of dudes or whatever.
Stay off the boardwalk.
The surf Nazis.
Yes.
They call them the surf Nazis.
Oh, no way. Yeah. And then they kind of start beefing or whatever. That's like even a epic scene, And it's like one of the things about the movie is like they never really show them like flying in the air or nothing like that. It kind of like just shows kind of like the point of view, you know what I'm saying? Like kind of like POV style, just like over, and it's like you could hear like kind of like flying, and it's like they never actually show them like flying in the sky,
Right.
Not till the end, of course.
When they had that, like when they were flying, it wasn't just like a whooshing wind sound. It was like some like weird like chimey instrument intermingled. I can't describe it, but if you see the movie, you know what I'm talking about.
They're kind of like talking, almost like whispers. Like
no, totally, it's the whispers, and it was effective. They ripped the roof off that car.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's some strong vampires.
Right? You're like,
It's probably Marco. You know?
Yeah.
that's Marco, dude.
Until you're getting pushed over by a kid.
Yeah. So there's this epic scene. I mean, there's a lot of epic scenes. Let's break them down, right? Like, so there's the infamous, of course, beach scene where Michael meets,
Star.
Well, he meets Star, and then he meets like David and the rest of the vampires or whatever. Yeah. That's like the first time he kind of like encounters them or whatever.
Totally.
But that in itself is just an epic scene. They're going. They all have their bikes or whatever, but they don't go on the bikes yet. They're like. They're listening to a concert, or they're at a concert.
Oh,
right?
dude!
So
I still believe, bro.
The whole town is there.
The whole town, all the young guys, the young people are there.
Mostly
all
dudes.
flock to
Mostly
see
dudes.
For sure, mostly dudes for sure.
Performer.
Hella sausage fest.
They were headbanging. Did you see the guy in the front row? Like,
They were rocking, dude. Like a thrash
like when they're filming the movie, they're probably like, all right, you're listening to some heavy metal, and then after they're editing, they're like, oh, we can get the saxophone guy.
It's some shredded dude in tights playing the saxophone.
I just want to
No
get
shirt.
up and dance to it so bad right now. I can't even.
So
control
that
myself.
guy. So of course, there's this guy playing the saxophone, and he's like ripped, and he's just like into it, right? That saxophone guy was Whitney Houston's saxophone player. Which is crazy.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
He got a gig because he got like really fit and was obviously really good at the saxophone.
Obviously.
But I think she really appreciated his look because I mean, being shredded at the time, there's nobody really shredded in the early '80s.
Playing
it was
saxophone?
not a
In the
thing.
jazz
Playing
scene.
saxophone
Yeah.
with the
Yeah.
ponytail, like, all right, you're in. But
Dude,
yeah,
effective.
I found that too. That was cool.
Wow. Holy
Yeah.
hell, man.
So if you want to see this guy, just go listen to some Whitney Houston's. Some
Tim
old school-
Capello. Tim Capello's
Capello,
his
there
name.
it is.
Yeah.
Tim Capello.
So before the motorcycle scene, is that the point where Michael buys the leather jacket?
Oh my gosh,
Is
he
that
wants to
the part?
blend in. He wants
It's
to
like
look
first thing he
Santa
needs
Carla.
to do. I get to Santa Carla. I need a leather jacket.
That's
and he like
funny.
pierces his ear too, right? Or am I wrong?
No, Star tells him it's a scam.
Oh, that's right.
That's
right,
when it happens.
That's
It's a
right. That's right.
scam.
She's like, I could do it for you.
And then
Yeah.
you have an interesting a kind of theory about the about Star when then Michael when they first meet.
So dumb when like.
I love
what is-
her. I'm sorry.
Yeah, she's like
don't talk about my girl.
any man would be completely like captivated by her.
She's hypnotizing.
breathtakingly
like-
beautiful. They picked her for a reason. I think she's bait.
Yeah, of course.
Because like they're trying to make a coven of men, I feel. And she's the bait. And there's this one part where she's walking with Michael. They're finally like connecting. And she kind of like looks over her shoulder and she's like, oh, Michael, I like Michael. She sounds so dumb. But I think that she's saying it really loud and like really like open and out like that because she's
David's right
signaling
there.
to David like this is my pick. I'm picking Michael. Michael's good.
So I have a question about that. That's great. Like I never noticed that, but she
weird.
needed to get her first kill
To be a full
to
vampire.
be a full vampire.
Yeah.
So maybe she was picking him.
Yeah.
So that could be his first kill.
I think that was the plan, but then when they brought
Yeah.
him back to like the little lair, I think David called an audible and was like, "Nah, we'll just make him one of us," kind of thing.
Well, look, he looks like Jim Morrison.
Yeah, yeah.
I
That's
think
another
he's-
theory you had, which
Yeah,
I thought was cool.
That's my own personal theory too.
David
like,
was
he
kinda
looked like Jim Morrison.
yeah. That's a great theory.
Holy hell. This is stuff I've not heard before. This is all great.
He was collecting his.
Yeah, he's
Har-
just like, I just
harem
want a cool
coven?
rock star looking dude. Because I mean, Jason Patrick's an attractive dude. Yeah. Even though he's trying to, he looks like a dude in his late 20s passing off as like a high schooler. Yeah. He's very attractive.
Oh, dude.
Looks kind of Jim Morrison-y there
Yeah.
too. If you were looking at him, like
He's not star level hot, but he's okay looking.
oh, you hating,
star.
bro?
Yeah.
You hating?
I like. Was it
I'll be
Dwayne?
I'll be the judge of the hot dudes.
I like Dwayne the vampire. What's his name?
Dwayne.
Yeah.
The one whose name they never talk about.
I don't know the nameless vampire. So let's talk about the vampires.
Before we go to the
Yeah,
to
go
the
for
next thing. So there's in the scenes it's like they have like contacts, but they're like different kind of contacts, correct? I don't know if you guys heard of that. They're glass contacts.
Oh, those are old school.
So very
Yeah.
old school. So there's a scene where David gets like, what is it? Yeah.
They pull his hand into the sun.
In the sun and
Yes.
it burns,
Burns him.
and then he gets a tear it wasn't a tear like makeup. It was actually a tear because his eyes were so irritated because of the glass like contact.
Yeah.
Oh, and they kept it in the
and
movie.
they just kept it in because in
It was just
context
perfect.
it looked tight.
Oh shit!
Isn't that silly?
Dude.
I mean, it's kind of one of those movie magic things that you can't just make happen.
a happy accident.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was
man.
perfect. A perfect little shot of a single tear rolling down his cheek.
Hella
Well, and the way
dramatic,
he
too.
like, the way Kiefer Sutherland's like expressive in that moment with the tear, he's like combination of like pissed and sad and like fuck.
Yeah, he
Like,
definitely rolls with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like he did it right, man. That's yeah.
He's a
Yeah.
great actor. I think even the director Joel Schumacher was like, he talks about that openly, how blessed he was with the cast of that film, because I mean all those dudes wound up becoming pretty successful actors in some form or another.
For sure. He said it took 6 weeks to convince Jason Patrick to do it.
Yeah.
He's only done like 1 or 2 movies before that. And like he thought, it's like, oh man, I'm a serious actor. Horror's going to mess me up. He's like, nah, man, it's going to be cool. Thank God he did, right?
Yeah.
No, he totally had to sell him on it. I thought that was cool.
And also, another fun fact, that was the first movie that both of the Coreys were in.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
know that until I researched it
Yeah.
a little earlier, and I was like, oh, really? That was the first one?
Yeah, that was the first
Because
thought it was
Goonies was
something
after
before
that, I think, right?
Yeah.
No, was it?
Goonies was before that, but Corey Haim wasn't in it.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, Corey
I'm
Feldman
not
was.
thinking.
Corey Feldman.
Yeah, I'm getting my Corys all goofed up.
But it's got to be like a Mandela effect or something, because I was like, no, that's the same thing. I found that out. I'm like, they did like 2 movies before Lost Boys.
Yeah.
No, they didn't.
No, I guess not.
That was the first one.
Man.
The Corys, a tale of 2 Corys, bro.
That's what started it, man. Lost
Yeah.
Boys.
On a side note, if you guys want some good entertainment, if you haven't seen it already, just Google one of Corey Feldman's concerts. I challenge you to watch less than 2 minutes of it. That's it.
Oh, it's great stuff.
Well, his
Yeah.
cover of what is it? The opening song of the movie Lost Boys is actually pretty.
Oh, that Cry Little
Good.
Sister
Cry
song.
Little-
He actually
Yeah.
does.
He actually does
nails
a
that
pretty
one.
good
It's
job.
really good.
Yeah.
I'm not. He does. He does a good job.
He does. His heart is in it fully. He's passionate.
Marilyn Manson's cover is way better, though.
I listened to that on the way
right. I
here.
agree.
Played that the
Yeah.
other day. That was
So
pretty
good.
tight.
Yeah.
That was
So
pretty
good.
tight.
Yeah, he kills it, man.
Yeah.
So as far as the vampires go, we have Marco,
Dwayne,
we have Dwayne,
Paul.
Paul,
Paul.
all rocking the sweetest hair, sweet mullets.
I think Paul has like some of the bathtub dude. He's got the best hair right there.
Yeah, it's definitely
Kind of Steve
L'Oreal
Adler from
hair.
Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
Kinda,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
there you go, there you go.
You know, they
For
were
sure.
mad at Kiefer or David or whatever because of his hair. Like, they didn't want his hair to be that way.
Really?
And he cut it, like, right before. And then what he wanted to do, he wanted to be a little bit, I don't know if he wanted to do it different, but he cut it not the way they wanted it. And he ended up saying, just give me this guy. And it was Billy Idol. And that was his, like, what he kind of
His
wanted.
inspiration?
His inspiration.
What?
And they were, like, mad because it wasn't how the other vampires were. But so it just kind of played off. And they're like, we'll see what we could do with it. And then just ended up being his hair that for the movie, and they loved it after, but at first they were like super upset about it.
Yeah, I'm trying to envision it with long hair.
Yeah.
It just
It just
it
feels
just
right.
doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The spiky mullet.
Spiky
you can't,
short
you can't.
mullet.
Yeah, I think that was
Glistening
apropos
mullet.
of the time period, and also kind of differentiated him because it's like he's not like, spoiler alert, he's not like the head vampire, but he is like kind of
He's
a
a
little
team leader.
He seems like
Yeah.
he's kind of a little
Team
more
leader, that's a good
powerful
point.
than
Yeah,
the
yeah.
other
He's
ones.
a team leader.
leader.
Yeah.
He's doing the stuff where he's able to fool people, and he's doling out the blood and stuff. So I feel like he's definitely kind of maybe not a soldier, but maybe a little bit higher than that kind of thing.
I think that whole scene with the worms and the maggots is maybe supposed to establish that.
Yeah.
That he's like, he has that level of
Yeah,
black magic.
He's pulling
or
the
whatever you
strings.
want to call it. Yeah.
and they can clearly fly. Yeah, he's kind of got all those traditional vampire like powers. He can fly, obviously. He can kind of do the whole deceptive thing and make you think that something's there that isn't, Like, they're worms, Michael. Sorry, I had to say it. I've been saying it all day.
So yeah, that scene is good. It's a great scene. Want to explain it?
Yeah, well, I mean, after the dirt bike race, Michael's pissed because David almost drives him off a cliff, almost leads him off a cliff on the bike. They get into this fight. Yeah, he's testing him. David, I don't think he's doing it out of malice. I think he wasn't trying to kill him. I think he wants to it was a test. I think that's the best way to putting it. And so he's finally like, after he kind of calms Michael down, is like, hey, let's not fight. Let me show you this cool little alcove that kind of opened up, and he kind of leads them to their lair, which is like he explains it's the lair, and look, they're all hanging out. Damn mullets. So they're all hanging out in this it's like an old spa or something like that. It's a hotel. It's a hotel. That's right. It's like a hotel that was swallowed by like the 1906 earthquake in the Bay Area. And so they're kind of treating it as their new lair. And so this is where he's kind of like bringing Michael into the fold. Star's there. They have all the other vampires there, and which was weird in itself because I think Michael ultimately is just like, I'm just doing this because Star's here.
Yeah.
He's like, if Star's not here, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
I'm new in town. I don't want to look
Definitely.
like a jerk.
Yeah, that's part of it too. Probably he's like, I'm not a square. I guess I got to do this stuff.
He endured so much hazing.
Yeah, definitely hazed
because
him.
of her.
Yeah. And I thought it was funny too when so they're like, let's bring out the Chinese food. So they bring out all the Chinese food, and everyone has their own box, which, okay, that's cool, but they just give Michael rice. It's like, that's kind of lame, dude.
Plain
like,
white
rice. You have
rice.
anything else in there? You have some like beef broccoli or something? Nope, you're just getting the rice. And he just, he starts eating it, and this is where the vampire powers kind of come in. He fools him into thinking that the rice is worms. And then he turns the rice into worms. Maggots, you're right. I'm so sorry. There we go. Wrong bug. Because it's the worms with the chow mein. That's right. Mm-hmm. He turns the rice into maggots. He turns them back. And he's, everyone's like, has a good laugh. He does the same thing with the noodles. And then I think Michael's like, they're just messing with me. So then finally, David gives him this fancy looking bottle. It's like gold plated, dark glass.
Right there.
Oh, probably got lead in it.
Beautiful.
Hella lead.
And he's like, I think he doesn't tell him it's blood. What does he say it is?
He just says, drink this, Michael.
Oh, yeah, he doesn't say what it is. Maybe he just says, drink this, Michael.
Star's like, it's blood. He's like,
blood.
Oh, that's what it is. Yeah. I was trying to think because I was like, I know someone says it's blood, but at that point he's just like, nah, now you're all just messing with me. So he downs a little shot of the old blood, and then it's instantly like, all right, one-way ticket to Vamp Town. And he's kind of in the same shoes as Star's in there because I think Star at that point was trying to look for someone to drink the blood of to become a full-fledged vampire. Because you can reverse the process if you haven't done that yet. But I think she was looking to do that. Right?
Weren't there rules?
There was some kind of weird rules with all that stuff, right?
And then you have to kill the main vampire as well. Right? So it's
that's the way to reverse it. Right.
Or break it, right?
And at that point, I think we're led to believe that
Michael's
David is like the head dude. That's kind of what we're led to believe there.
Yeah. And they also have a little kid called Laddie, who's apparently a missing child. There's a lot of missing people.
Talk about Laddie for a second. I've never.
What's the benefit of Laddie?
I thought Laddie was like Star's kid for the longest time. I'm like, they never explained it or whatever. And I was reading more. No, it's supposed to be a companion that David kidnapped for her at one point. Yeah, just a companion.
Super weird.
And she doesn't seem to care. Like, she seems sweet, but she doesn't care about. She's like, not giving up my companion. Fuck his parents. All right.
No, that is super weird.
So he's in the in the movie they're drinking milk or they have milk. And he's in the milk carton, like as the missing child.
Yeah.
That's a little.
But
that was a great scene right there. Yeah.
We never see a missing sign for Star though, and I feel like she's just truly this mysterious character. Like maybe she was a tourist passing through when she was before she was turned. Yeah. Because I'd never see a missing person sign for Star. Yeah. I don't know what her backstory is.
So she's like.
Yeah, but she still hasn't done her first kill. And she's, I don't know. I wish I knew more about Star, Woman of Mystery.
Yeah. I think everybody wishes they knew more about Star.
So one thing about the maggots, right? So, I read and heard about this. It's like maggots don't move. So that's one thing that they were doing. It's like they have the maggots and they were moving. So what they did is they pour lime on them. right? So they could start moving.
Oh,
Because they started
wow.
thinking. So that's the reason why the maggots started moving, because they pour lime on it, so they could start moving and they could show the effect on the
Oh,
movie.
no way.
They also did that for the worms as well.
Oh, I bet Peter
They
was
were
happy
moving
about
it.
that.
They were moving
They were just
enough.
chilling.
They were just chilling, so they poured lime on them so they could start moving it.
Trying
as
to make
well.
that ceviche.
Yeah.
Gross.
It's
get these babies going.
No whitefish.
You're like, what the hell's ceviche? Let's see, what else we got? So after that scene, yeah, Michael. What? I'm trying to remember. So
Well, he ends
after
up
he
back
drinks
home.
the blood,
He
he
just-
just magically
And
appears
crying,
back.
Yeah.
crying
No,
little
no, no,
sister
no,
starts.
no.
Oh, yeah, the
no,
montage.
Oh, the
No.
flying montage?
No, yeah.
Or do
so
they go to the train tracks?
They go to the train tracks.
Yeah, is that what it
Yeah.
is?
So they go to the train
Oh, yeah.
tracks after the blood drinking
Hell
and
yeah.
stuff like that, and then they're like, "Hey, come down here, Michael." So they're like hanging underneath the railroad tracks
Yeah.
on the bridge, and they're holding on. And then the train starts coming, and then it starts shaking them, and then they slowly, one by one, go down.
Yep.
And then Michael and David are the last ones on there. And then David's like, "Let go, Michael, let go." And he's like, "Ugh." And then David falls, and then he starts hearing them. They're like, "Come on, Michael, let go, Michael, come on, Michael." And then he's trying to get up, but he just doesn't have the energy. And then he falls, and then
Yeah.
he go into these clouds, and then he ends up in his bed.
Yeah.
So each person that fell, they fell in the order that they died.
What? Oh, good call.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
because Marco
interesting.
goes first.
Okay, so Marco was first.
Marco goes first, yeah.
Because he was shanked in the little lair by one of the
Yeah.
frogs.
What
Oh,
a
that's interesting.
wild kill that was. Oh,
I
dude,
think
that's right.
Marco was low key David's favorite.
Yeah. Could
It
be.
was like his little brother.
yeah.
I think he gets referred to by his name the most.
Yeah.
Marco. Paul gets one shout out. Dwayne doesn't even get his name mentioned.
No.
He's got an IMDb profile, so that's cool. Yeah, I agree with you with the Marco favoritism, 100%.
So when they're hanging, yeah, they definitely say his name Michael a lot, and I don't know why on the IMDb
Hey, Michael.
they listed that they said the name Michael in the movie 118 times.
No fucking way. Well, half of that had to be on the train track itself. It's like, Michael wants to know what's going on. What's going on, Michael?
Yeah, they were just like, we just want to establish that everyone knows that this man's name is Michael.
Just in case you forgot.
Oh, you got a little cable tie for us? Thank you, bud.
Oh, what a little helper.
So
Thank
like
you.
After that, we
he
would've
ends up
lost
back
him.
in his house, and then his little brother Sam, who I absolutely adore. I would love to have a little brother like Sam. He's got so much personality,
And fashion.
and he loves fashion,
He's fun.
and
Hey,
he
hey.
lives to shop, and yeah,
That Rob Lowe
He likes
poster?
Rob Lowe.
Yeah.
yeah.
he's proud of the things that he likes, and yeah,
Pretty confident too. Like when he's
Yeah.
getting razzed by the Frog Brothers when he meets them, they're just like, I think they're talking a little crap. They're kind of making fun of his clothes. He's like,
Yeah.
yeah, they're pretty tight, right? Like something
Nice
like
civilian
that.
wardrobe.
Yeah. It's
And then he schools them on the fucking comics. You can't have this here, this, that. He's like,
yeah. I
who
think
are
he
you?
impressed the Frog Brothers. Yeah, the Frog Brothers were a great little duo. I love those dudes.
Yeah, they're like Rambo, like vampire hunters.
the G.I. Joes of Santa
Yeah.
Carla,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah.
They're like
100%.
wearing dog tags and bandanas
Yeah.
and like old army, like little army fatigue jacket kind of thing. And Corey Feldman. I'm getting the Corey's mixed up again. Corey Feldman's voice is like an octave deeper. He's like trying to make it like, yeah, I'm a total. He's probably, I don't know how old he is, but he's got to be like 15 or 16 in it.
It's something
But
like
he's
that.
like, "Rah, rah," he's got that old froggy voice.
Well, when he got the role, they told him you have to watch all the Rambo movies.
Oh, really?
That's what he's doing.
Oh.
He's
Like
Rambo
Stallone,
then.
yeah,
Totally. He's
yeah.
doing
It
the
makes
Stallone.
sense.
They told him that he had to watch all the Rambo
That's
movies.
so funny.
And like try to act like them. That was his part, to act
I-
like Rambo.
Then mission accomplished.
That all
He
makes
did it.
sense now, totally.
Hey.
Hey, Sam.
Yeah.
Yo.
So, like, do you think that they have already been killing vampires? Because how many vampires in Santa Carla are there?
You know what? That's a good question.
Yeah,
Like,
we were thinking about that.
Or
Like-
have they never killed a vampire, but they're just very good at making it look like they have?
I think they were fronting, like acting like they were like, we kill vampires, you call us, and then they call them like, okay, let's see what we could
Yeah.
do.
See what
you
the
know?
comic book says.
Yeah.
Yeah, they keep going to the comic book.
So remember if I'll jump ahead. So remember the at the end, the grandpa The last line of the movie. He's like, one thing I always hated about Santa Carla is all the damn vampires.
That bugged the shit.
All the damn vampires. So maybe
Wait.
there were more vampires. I don't know. Like I think we'll never know.
He
Yeah, maybe.
could, but why? What blows my mind is why didn't he mention any of that to any of them the second they got there?
Might have been useful information.
Vampires, just chill.
Hey, you guys are gonna move out here, but there's vampires, or at least rumored that there's vampire. Nothing like
nothing. Just like
come
move
on
out
down,
here.
hang out with us.
He's like,
cool.
You're going through a divorce. I didn't want to bother you. You know. He's like, oh shit.
Yeah,
all
yeah.
right. One theory that I heard, I don't know if I buy into it, but that the grandpa is actually a vampire, and that he bottles the blood in his root beer things, because all the animal blood, to keep him at bay.
I read that.
Yeah,
and I was like,
dude.
whoa, that's kind of interesting.
Right? Like, it's not like way out there. I'm like,
Yeah.
But
It's like, what are you doing with the Widow Johnson over there?
I'm not the only one who got lucky.
Oh, that was a sick burn that Michael gave Grandpa too, where he's just like, he said something about stuff in the Mr. Johnson. It's just like, oh damn, it just takes off.
The grandpa looks at him too,
Like, I didn't get that joke until recently. I'm such a dummy, because like for some reason I thought it was a joke about like a sexual joke or something like that, but it was like, oh no, he's talking about like the dude. He's talking about like taxiderming the dead dude. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm a bonehead.
It took me until past high school of seeing this movie to realize that. There's so much shit I caught like later on I didn't catch as a kid. I was like, oh, it's funny.
You know what's the rule if you borrow the car?
What is the rule?
Oh yeah, that was a good scene.
I know, Grandpa, you never told us.
That was such a good scene. Fill up the tank or
Fill
something.
up the tank. Yep.
And now you know.
But it's like you're carrying an unconscious girl upstairs with a little kid in tow, and he's like, I'm not asking any questions. I just want like gas in the tank, please.
Yeah, that's all I care about.
Seeing the Widow Johnson later. Come on. You know? And he comes back later. I don't know. Maybe it's a separate conversation. He has all those spikes on his truck.
Yeah.
The
Whole
post he was
trees.
building earlier, but then he seemed really prepared.
Yeah.
Like, you could have, like you said, to your point
warned.
earlier, you could have warned us.
Yeah, for sure.
Could have avoided maybe all this.
So Michael doesn't become a full vampire, but he becomes like a half vampire, but he still turns like if he was a vampire.
Yeah. I like the way they did that. They just made him seem like a hungover bro, just like keep the shades on and just stay in bed like way late. Like, I can't do mornings. Nope, sorry, I drank too much. Like,
Not on drugs, Mom.
yeah. I'm not on drugs.
I would totally be like, you're on freaking drugs.
Yeah.
So.
Even his brother was like, are you freebasing or something like
Inquiring
that?
minds want to know.
I'm making you a sandwich. You don't want to eat a sandwich? You need to eat something.
Then there's
love
this
Sam.
scene that he's trying to kill, or Michael's trying to get Sam, and then he's in the shower. He's singing his heart out.
Oh yeah. I don't have a man.
The bathtub
I don't got
scene.
a man. It's like, wait, what?
Don't
dude?
got a home.
And the Rob
Got
Lowe
that too,
poster. Yeah. Gotcha.
And then out of
Say
nowhere,
no more.
like the dog's right there, and then Michael starts trying to creep up, opens the door, and then his dog jumps at him and bites him. Right?
Yeah.
What you do to my dog, you
Yeah.
asshole?
What'd you do to my dog? It's like your brother's bleeding. That's the first question. What'd you do to my dog?
He's just honest though. He's like, he's trying to protect you. He's like, what kind of comment is that?
Another thing I kind of thought was really funny, and I crack up every time it happens, is when like whenever the motorcycle gang swoops up onto the house, it's like a hurricane's blowing through all the windows. Like, it's like motorcycles don't do that. How is this working? Where are these fans coming from? Revving motorcycles is not going to blow the curtains.
They're circling it so fast.
They're
they're
so
just-
close to
they're
the
just
house.
Tasmanian
They're like
devil
right
in you,
here.
They're like, this is just a warning. There's more where this came from.
Well, they can't come in unless they get invited, right?
Yeah.
True
Which is
that.
actually their downfall, which is why what's his name, the actual head vampire.
We
what's
didn't
his
even
name?
talk
Max.
about Max yet.
No.
A lot to talk about.
So
Max with
Lucy
his
the mom.
giant shoulder pads.
Yeah, go ahead.
So Lucy, the mom, she's walking in the down the pier, right? She's walking on the boardwalk or whatever.
She's looking for a job.
She's
maybe.
looking for a job, and she sees this little boy that's lost, and then she like goes up to him, and she's like takes him inside the store, I believe.
Yeah.
And then she's trying to take care of him, and then the guy like really likes that about her, or what's his name, Max.
Yeah.
Max likes that about her, that she's caring, right? And that's what attracts him to her or whatever.
Totally.
And then she's like talking to her, and then he's like, if you ever need anything or looking for something, and she's like, actually looking for a job. And then he kind of has a job for her,
Yeah.
you know? So.
And that was how, and eventually, you know, in the back of his brain, he's thinking like, I'm looking for a vampire bride, basically. I want
Somebody's going to take care of my boys.
Yeah, like a
Exactly.
den mother of some kind. He's like profiling her.
Yeah.
And she already has kids. So I like to say it's going to be a blood-sucking Brady Bunch.
Yeah. That dinner scene was such like I think
Good.
that whole. This thing's a spoiler alert, okay? That whole scene with
For
the
a
dinner.
30-year-old movie.
Yeah, 30-year-old movie. Where like you're like, oh, he's inviting himself, man. He's clearly a vampire. But then they run all the tests, the garlic in
Yep.
there or whatever,
Yeah.
and he passes them. So I'm like, oh, well, that's out. I remember even as a kid thinking, that was so good. Wow, I was fooled. I
Yeah.
thought it was
Yeah.
fucking David, man.
Yeah.
like
Yeah, no,
so
totally.
good.
They kind of throw you for a loop, and then you realize like, oh, the test didn't work because all those little things you render them powerless because you were invited. They technically he asked permission to come inside, and they gave him permission. So now he's just a powerful vampire that, you know, garlic doesn't affect him, the holy water, none of that stuff did.
Yep.
You guys ever wonder like what, like maybe Michael is just ignorant of the rules? Like he never saw a vampire movie in his entire life, so he's like, yeah, come on in. It's like, I got vampire shit to do anyways. I don't fucking care.
I
It
think
seemed
he
kind of
was-
weird. He's like, oh, you're invited.
Well, I think he was so caught up in like what was happening to him that he didn't even worry about that.
You're right.
That was
Yeah.
more like that was Sam's thing. You know what I'm saying? Like
That's true.
Michael was like, I don't
Good
care.
point.
I have so much in my mind right now. Like I'm trying to like figure this out. I'm
Yeah.
trying to like hook up with Star.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
I'm trying to like drink less blood, maybe more blood. I'm
I
not
gotta
sure
fucking
yet.
kill somebody.
Yeah.
Not
so-
float away.
Yeah, that was a good scene too.
I like that part.
Yeah, the whole floaty. I can't control my floaties.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he wasn't in the loop because he didn't connect with the Frog Bros like how Sam did.
Yeah, that's true.
Sure,
Because the
he
Frog
gets
Bros. Are,
schooled.
what's that?
He didn't get schooled.
Yeah, he didn't get the comic. So
Yeah.
he didn't know what was going on.
Yeah,
So towards the end of the movie, of course, there's that epic fight scene that basically is Home Alone style fight.
So good.
You know, so basically like, so did they get invited inside the house?
No, I
Is
think they
that-
just made their way, and that's why all that stuff was affecting him.
Okay.
At least that's what I think.
For sure.
The only one that was really invited was
Was
Max.
Max.
And then the only way they were able to actually kill him was by it was like driving him through the,
was Grandpa.
the stake, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was a grandpa coming in clutch.
Right?
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Just crashes at the perfect angle. He's like, this is gonna work.
Yeah.
So
With a
David
truck full
and
of
so
steaks.
basically like they get all these gags. They get like all this garlic. They fill up the bath in like garlic and holy water.
Holy water. Yeah.
I like how they got the holy water.
They made a
They said they
tea.
just filled up their canteens at the church. That's
Yeah.
so funny.
So awesome.
the
They wa-
squirt guns.
Yeah, the squirt guns.
Squirt guns, the garlic,
You know, they got all the steaks.
the steaks. Yep.
So that was kind of a fun scene in the movie, and then of course they go inside the house, and then they slowly start taking them one by one. The first one that was at the actual lair when they went to go get Star. They went to go get Star. They pick her up. They take her. That's when they borrowed Grandpa's car. You know, and
Yeah.
so who gets staked first?
I
Marco.
think it's Marco.
Marco.
Marco's in the lair.
Yeah, they find him
That's
sleeping.
where they actually hunt him
But
down
they
in the cavern.
but they can't leave yet because it's still daylight.
right.
So they have to wait until nighttime. So they go back to their house, and that's when
They set up the bath. They do all that stuff.
they set it all
prepare
up
for
in a few
battle.
hours. They prepare for battle. Kind of just think about it like Goonies / Home Alone style of a fight. And they go in there, and then they slowly start taking them out one by one. The last like epic scene, the last fight is basically like David versus Michael.
Yeah.
Right, and then they have the grandpa. Basically, he has a bunch of like kind of like horns and what is it?
Taxidermy stuff.
Yeah, he has a
Taxidermy,
room
like
full of antlers and things.
antlers and stuff, and that's where David actually dies, right? Because they have this fight and they're fighting, and then Michael's getting overpowered, and then he holds on to the roof or the
doorway
frame,
front. Yeah.
and then basically he's about to get killed. Michael's about to get killed, and then Michael turns David around and then
does the old reverso.
Yeah.
Reverse.
Yeah.
And then takes him out.
It worked.
It worked.
It worked.
I get the names of the Frog Brothers mixed up, but which
Edgar Allan.
Edgar and Allan, which
Edgar is the
cool
Corey.
Edgar's Corey. That's right.
Yeah.
But that's also a cool little side note. Edgar Allan Poe.
Dude.
Call back. It's like, oh, a horror writer. Like, let's throw these little an ode to him. I thought that was kind of cool.
No, it was super dope. One thing. Oh, go ahead.
No.
The scene where I never paid attention to this to save my life until literally like a month ago. David doesn't fucking explode.
He doesn't
when he gets
do
antlered.
anything.
Yeah, and I guess the reason is because they had planned for a sequel to have like a backstory more with him, which didn't happen. And then they were gonna do Lost Girls. And anyways.
That's
But they did do
interesting.
sequels, but it wasn't based on any of that shit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like Corey Feldman was in like the 2 sequels.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I never paid attention. I'm like, oh yeah, like everybody else like blows up.
You know, they all died a different kind of way. Like, because, and I think there was kind of a little bit of foreshadowing when they were talking to Edgar, because Edgar was like, some of them die quietly, which is kind of how David went, right?
Yep.
Some of them explode, which is the dude in the bathtub just destroys all the plumbing.
Yeah, he does.
Some of them go out screaming, and that was Marco. And he's just like, oh, so it almost kind of makes me second guess. Has he done this before? Has he seemed experienced sometimes, but but you know, with Boogie's point too, it's like sometimes it just seems like they're flying by the seat of their pants and they don't really
It's hard
know
to
what
tell.
they're doing.
Well, they never
Sometimes
reference personal experience. Like,
No.
we killed this one back in '85.
Right.
It was terrible. Like,
Right,
they're just
right.
like, this comic book told us all this cool shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's happening. Oh, here's our calling, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
they're just like super confident in that like source material of the comic book.
And then, of
They're good.
course, so all that happens. And then Max kind of reveals himself and tells them, you know, like, I wanted you to be the person. He kind of has a tussle with, like, Star and then with Michael. And then he grabs Sam and is basically, like, going to kill him. And then he, like, brings out the hand. And then that's when the mom's like, okay, I'll be your bride or whatever. And then you hear that, you know what I'm saying? Like the horns from the grandpa. And then everybody looks, and then freaking these giant stakes just come at him. Like he drives into the wall, right?
Yeah, just
And
right through.
And then these stakes come at him, and it just basically like kills him. And yeah. Then they're not vampires no more, and then Star comes down. Or no, was his name Laddie?
Laddie, yeah, she's all
Laddie.
happy to see him.
He's like,
Eddie Monster.
I'm good now. I'm not a vampire no more. And
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
like, and then Star's like, oh my god,
Yeah.
Star, can I go back home? She's like, no.
No.
we're never going home.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's that. It's honestly probably my favorite. It's so fun. It's exciting. You know, it has its spooky moments, and
Totally.
yeah, it's just a great movie overall. I think it's a great story, and I wish they could have done more afterwards. But I think at one, that's good enough, right?
Yeah.
Like they made these weird sequels that weren't even kind of related to the movie. But I think it's one of those things that, it's a standalone movie, and I enjoy it that way. You know, I'm happy they didn't. I know they were talking about maybe doing a Lost Girls, movie, and
they wanted
that
to
would have
do
been
that
an
for a while.
official sequel, but they never did. And to be honest, I'm happy. I'm happy with it. Like, it's one of those
it's a
things
good standalone.
for sure.
For
Yeah, I don't
sure.
even consider, like you're saying, like the other two sequels. I'll like, when you search for Lost Boys on IMDb, you'll like see it come up, but you're like, that doesn't even count. It's not the same story. Like none of that crap.
Yeah.
You talk about something funny that like, it's not supposed to be funny though, that I just find fucking hilarious every time I see it. So when they're in Sam's room and Star shows up, she's at the bottom, and then all of a sudden she's like in his room.
Yeah.
And she comes to see, fucking Sam's room, and Michael's there. And he's like, just like kind of pissed and perplexed and emotional. He's like, "That's that night in the cave, wasn't it? That was David's blood." She's like, "I tried to tell you." Like,
She freaking
she
told
did.
him.
Like, why are
Did
you
tell
surprised?
him.
Like, you should be like, "Oh, stupid me." He's like,
Yeah. He's astonished,
"Yeah, like, give me a break, man."
taken aback. That's so funny.
My goodness.
What's up, guys?
So, like, if you were given a choice, would you rather be a vampire or a vampire hunter? Knowing what you know.
I don't know. It'd be tough to kill people. I'm a puss.
I would say,
But they're vampires.
But either way, you're killing people, right? I
They're
mean,
dirty
Yeah.
bloodsuckers.
but you're killing. I don't know if you think of vampires as people. Man, that's a tough question. I just like I would just want to hang out with the Frog Bros. They, for some reason, they just seem like cool people. As a kid, I would have been like, "Oh, those dudes are cool."
Yeah.
I didn't see that movie until you guys are gonna laugh at me, but I didn't see that movie until like my 20s for the first time.
Really?
So I didn't really have a nostalgic attachment to it, but we still watch that movie at least once a year.
Yeah,
We've watched
Hell
that
yeah.
since we've been together. We watch that movie all the time because even though I wasn't a kid when I watched it, I appreciated and I saw how great of a movie it was. It's such a good little cult classic.
For me, I would be, I don't know, like Vampire Hunter from that movie specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah, a Santa Carla style vampire.
Not that from their movie, like being part of their gang.
No, you can be your own one-off lone wolf style.
Because I kind of want to hang out with Star, bro. Like,
She's not a big player at the end though.
David doesn't really seem to care about her too much. So I mean,
yeah.
He just
No.
wants her to get like bait. He uses her as bait, like you said earlier. That's all he
Yeah.
cares
The
about.
bait, I'm
Yeah.
cool. And I'm-
Yeah, use me as bait. I'm a worm, bro. Use my
Oh,
worm.
bummer.
No, but I definitely like hanging. Like the Frog Brothers seem cool hanging out at a comic book store. Like I'm big into comics, so I'm like just hanging out at the comic book store, hanging out, listening to music, chasing vampires off.
Using deep
yeah.
voices.
I mean, honestly, I grew up on like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and that was all about the Slayers.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I kind of feel like I would rather be a Slayer just because it's a little bit more near and dear to my heart. So I'd go with Slayer.
I would say vampire. So going back to when I was a kid, I was like, man, if I was
wanted to
ever
be
like
like
vampire,
Laddie.
I wanted to be like Marco.
Laddie.
Actually, no, Marco. Here's the
Just a little
thing.
Eddie Munster.
I think Marco is everyone's favorite because he's
Marco.
my favorite.
Yeah,
it might
Marco.
be partial because of Bill and Ted that I saw later,
Yeah.
but like I wanted to be. One thing I liked is that their fangs were on like the two front teeth right here instead of spread apart.
Yeah,
Weird
a
thing.
little different.
But they could fly, they could hunt. I might have some moral quandaries, but I feel if there were rules like, oh, you can like kill people who deserve to be killed, you know. By
Yeah, you
whoever's
could do
rules.
that.
You know what I mean? I feel like I'd be at more of an advantage if I was a vampire to watch out for you.
That's
people.
true.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Like
That's true.
you could just kill like security guards, surf Nazis, just the people
Yeah.
who deserve it. You know?
Just like reprobates and social ingrates.
Do the
stuff like
blade
Yeah.
thing and just have the serum on standby kind of thing.
that.
Yeah,
Now
yeah.
you're talking. Yeah, now you're talking.
Let's see.
But yeah,
Yeah.
that's our review of the Lost Boys movie. When
Hell yeah.
like I said,
Great pick, Richie.
I'm very
Amazing,
happy.
man.
I'm
Stellar.
happy I picked that one. I think it had to be done, and I'm happy it was done early. You know, and yeah, now we get to pick other stuff. But before we go any further, I think it's time to open up our gifts. And we already kind of spread out the numbers and how we're going to basically hand them out before we started this podcast. So I guess we'll start off now.
Let's
Pulling
do it.
them out.
Yeah.
So we haven't seen each other like as a podcast or anything like that
This is mine.
since before Christmas, you know. So we have to give it now. So mine was for.
There you go. All right, let's do it.
All right.
all at the same time.
All at the same
yeah.
time?
You want to do it all at the same
Let's be
time? You wanna go
efficient.
one at a
by
time. One at a time.
Yeah, let's do one
All
by
right.
one, and then we'll show
All right,
we'll
I'll
get a
start
chance
off.
to
I'll start
show
off.
it off.
I'll start off.
All right, so Richie's first is Bulpenings.
Let's go.
I chose this.
What?
Gift.
I thought that's pretty
a
cool.
rubber ducky.
Knock it off.
It's
Dude.
Billy from Saw,
From
but
Saw.
in duck form.
Oh my
It's
god.
so random, but it's cool.
Jonathan's gonna go crazy. This is awesome. I really appreciate this. That's very cool.
All
All
right.
right, we got Nick up next.
Let's see. Lost Boys Rubber Duck. Here we go. No.
I think they had one of those. I think they had a David Duck.
Oh my god. Are you serious? Really?
I think they did.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Start collecting ducks.
Oh
Stop.
wow, that is
Knock it off.
awesome.
Aw.
That's tight.
Thank
This
you.
is awesome.
That's tight.
Thank you. Oh my goodness.
His little hat.
It's a little Art the Clown mug.
Yeah.
With the
Like
lidded,
the
it's a
little
lidded
hat.
mug. It has a little hat mug.
And it
Little
comes
glasses.
off so badass. Thank you.
tight.
That's
All right.
so far so good.
Yeah,
All
those are
these-
Ooh,
great.
it's made of metal.
Heavy metal.
It's a
Oh, shout out to Alex Winters on that quote.
Just the box.
What is this? Wait a minute.
What's in the box?
I'm afraid to drop it.
What's
Okay,
in the
help me out.
box?
What? Oh, slides? Slides? Nope.
I actually didn't wrap it, so I forget. And when I opened that cologne a year ago, I forget
Okay.
how to open it. I'm gonna help you. I'll try.
Lid. Magnets.
Okay.
Not magnets, just
Hell
lid.
yeah.
Oh,
Ooh,
it's tight.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very cool.
That's so cool. I am going to try not to open this because this is clearly a collector's item.
That's dope. Dude.
And
and you got a little. Is that a
Reanimator
Reanimator sticker? That's
sticker?
from the shop in La Mesa.
Yeah, dude.
I love that place.
Shout
Shout
out
out to
to-
Reanimated Records.
Yeah, that's a great place.
this is awesome. Thank you so much. It's
yeah.
going.
Welcome.
These are great guys.
It's going into the bookcase of curiosities.
Oh
Hell
yeah,
yeah.
We actually do have a special little place for our.
Cool box too.
You're
Do you
gonna
want
hate
this
it.
box
No,
back?
that's all you.
No,
No, that's all you.
And a
Just
box.
Oh shit. Oh dude,
Yeah.
little crypt keepers, dude.
Freaking cool.
I actually like
The camera.
Yeah, gotta show it to the camera.
Oh man, so cool.
That is freaking tight.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
that Tales from the Crypt?
Yeah.
yes, Tell from the
yeah.
Crypts 1990.
The cartoon,
Collect-
right?
Yes,
Yeah. Dude.
They're actually from
Hella
1990.
vintagey. I was
They
gonna
are
say they look
vintage.
very old. That's rad.
Very cool.
They actually, I got them
the
at the
cape is so
store,
cool.
and they didn't
Holy
know the
smokes.
value of that. Go online and look at how much these are. Like, yeah, they didn't know the value. So,
Dang. These are badass. Good job,
dude,
everyone.
everybody killed
Very
it.
cool.
Appreciate it,
Guys.
guys. Thank you, guys.
Merry
Merry-
Christmas.
Merry
Merry late
Very
Christmas.
late Christmas.
Merry
But, yeah,
Chrysler.
we did it.
Those guys are gonna
Heck
watch
yeah.
this episode and then raise their prices. Watch.
I know.
Very cool, guys. Good job.
Yeah,
Hell
yeah, yeah.
So, have we reached the end? Where are we gonna do our little pep rock shijo?
Paper, rock, scissors. So,
Boom.
so now
Iggy
it's time we start from
piggy.
scratch now.
Iggy
Yeah.
piggy. So are we just what do you mean start from scratch?
Yeah, we like all of us, like you know how the bracket,
Should we do the same brackets or do you want to mix that up?
whatever you guys want.
We'll mix it up. Want you and Boogie go, and then me and
We
Hill
can
go?
do that.
Yeah, yeah.
We can do that. All right. So me and Richie first.
So 2 out of 3, right?
2 out of 3.
Okay.
And then it's 1, 2, and then shoot on the third.
Yeah, rock, paper, bam. You know
Okay,
what
I
I'm
thought you were
saying?
going now. I was like, hey, wait.
Wait.
All right.
You-
Rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors.
All right.
Rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors.
Ah! All right, Richie wins.
Okay.
All right, now y'all.
All right.
Rock, paper, scissors.
That's 1. Ooh. So
Yes.
now it's Richie
Okay.
versus Hillary. Here we go. Here we
Beat
go.
me last
I
time.
know. I beat you
But that,
last
this was
time.
actually my first win in rock, paper, scissors. Just to
Yeah.
let you guys know.
Oh yeah. Because Nick's, you've been going against Nick. Has been kicking your ass.
Streak is done, guys. Told you, streak is done.
Oh yeah, streak's broken.
Yep.
All right, here we go.
I don't know why I'm so nervous.
It's all right. You get it. You got it. You got this.
This is the most competition
All right.
I ever
Ready?
face.
Rock, paper, scissors. 1. Rock, paper, scissors.
Oh.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Two
that
in
was
a
a good
row.
That
Good
was
for
a good match.
you. You know.
Good job,
yeah,
guys.
Good for you.
All right, Richie. What we got, bud? Have you
I haven't really thought about it till right now.
on the spot?
I thought about it 5 seconds ago.
I know. I was literally at the end. I was like, oh man, I got to think of one.
Shaun of the Dead.
Yo, hey, that's a great
Yay.
pick. I'm actually really excited
I
about
love
that
it.
one.
Yes.
That one's hilarious.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's a great, fun, funny.
Wait a second. You're wearing
Yeah,
your shirt too.
that's
yeah.
The reason why I picked it
That's
was
tight,
'cause
that's tight.
I might wear it next
I
time
was
as
like,
well.
wait a
Shaun of the
second.
Dead.
Meant to be.
That's
It's
a
meant to
great
be.
movie. I love that movie.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
one of my favorite movies. I've watched it for a while. You know, like I think I wanted to do a zombie movie today, regardless. But
That's
damn.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
No, that's
didn't
a
have
good
a
idea.
single
I think
zombie.
that's a good one. That's solid.
It's good.
We were due
Especially
for
for
zombie.
off the cuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Episode 7, Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah.
We got a good little list going.
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
I like
yeah,
it.
yeah.
I like
That's
it.
gonna
Yeah,
be
yeah,
a fun
yeah.
one. It's gonna
For
be a
sure.
fun one.
Hell yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. Don't
Absolutely.
forget to like and subscribe. Maybe shoot us a little comment. Hit us up on Instagram. We got a Twitter. What's the Twitter account?
At Of Horror Podcast. Yep.
Booyah. So, yeah. Shout out to or give us, I don't know what the heck I'm trying to say.
Shout out to all our subscribers. Last time we had a show, we were up 42 subscribers since last time. Putting us at 572. When we're back next time, I want to see 700. Please.
Let's get it.
All right.
Yeah, make sure you guys comment. That way we could kind of like interact with you guys and stuff like that. And, you know, kind of communicate and maybe give us some feedback and stuff like that. It would be really appreciated. So we'll see you guys next time.
Word. All right. Later, guys.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye.